Everyone loves to talk about building wealth like it's some magical formula. Buy crypto, flip houses, manifest abundance with moon crystals. Meanwhile, most people are bleeding cash every single day, not because of bad luck, but because of boring little habits that quietly suck their bank accounts dry. And the worst part? You don't even notice it. It's like termites in your wallet. We tell ourselves it's the big purchases that matter, the car, the house, the vacation, but it's the daily stuff that kills you, the coffee you swear doesn't count, the streaming subscriptions you forgot about but still pay for, the delivery fees, impulse buys, and those late-night treat-yourself Amazon binges that feel innocent but add up faster than compound interest on a payday loan. Meanwhile, billionaires don't fall for this. They spend like maniacs on jets and yachts, sure, but they're oddly disciplined about the boring stuff. They don't nickel and dime themselves to death, because they know small leaks sink ships. The rest of us, we're too busy justifying why we deserve a $14 burrito bowl every single day. So today, let's roast the everyday money habits that keep you broke. Not because I hate burritos, okay, maybe a little, but because these patterns make the difference between building wealth and living paycheck to paycheck. And trust me, once you see them, you'll never look at that innocent coffee the same way again. You've heard this one before. If you just stopped buying that $5 latte every morning, you'd be a millionaire by retirement. And yeah, it sounds like a motivational poster written by someone who hates caffeine and joy. But here's the punchline. While the skip coffee get rich meme is oversimplified, it's not totally wrong. Daily spending habits, the ones you barely notice, add up like financial termites gnawing at your paycheck. Let's do the math nobody wants to hear. $5 a day doesn't sound like much, right? That's just the foam on your oat milk cappuccino. But $5 a day is $150 a month. That's $1,800 a year. And if you invested that in literally any half-decent index fund instead of mainlining caffeine, 20 years later, you'd be staring at a pile of money big enough to buy your own espresso machine, coffee plantation, and probably the barista's soul. Instead, most people are just buying overpriced sugar milk and calling it self-care. But it's not really about the coffee, it's about the mindset. The latte is just the mascot for all those little daily it's only a few bucks purchases. The energy drink at the gas station. The extra guac at Chipotle. The $12 scented candle you convinced yourself was a mental health expense. None of these individually wreck you, but together, they're like mosquitoes at a barbecue. One isn't a big deal, but a swarm will bleed you dry before you even finish your burger. The funniest part? People will fight tooth and nail against big expenses, but they'll bleed out slowly from the small ones. They'll research car loans for weeks, comparing APRs, negotiating down to the penny, and then blow $20 every day on Uber Eats because I was tired. They'll stress about rent increases but won't blink at paying $60 a month for 3 different music streaming services, even though they only use one. Death by 1,000 swipes of the debit card. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying never buy coffee. Coffee is life. If we banned it, society would collapse in 48 hours. But here's the real lie. People act like small habits don't matter. Like the only way to go broke is by wrecking your credit score with a Ferrari purchase. Nah, broke sneaks up on you quietly, through $5 holes drilled into your budget every single day. The rich, they know this. Ironically, some of the richest people are the cheapest when it comes to daily habits. Warren Buffett famously still buys the same cheap McDonald's breakfast every day, not because he can't afford better, but because he understands routine. He's not out here bleeding $20 on cold-pressed kale smoothies every morning. Meanwhile, the average person is financing an accidental luxury lifestyle one frappuccino at a time. So is skipping lattes going to make you rich? No. But pretending your daily habits don't matter is exactly what keeps you broke. Because wealth isn't built by avoiding big purchases once a decade. It's built by plugging the leaks that drip every single day. You don't need to cut coffee. You need to stop lying to yourself that little expenses don't count. They do. They always do. If daily lattes are termites chewing at your wallet, then subscriptions are the mold you don't notice until your whole financial house smells weird. We live in the golden age of subscriptions. Music, movies, food delivery, gym memberships, cloud storage, even toothbrush refills. At this point, I'm half expecting someone to launch a pay monthly to breathe oxygen plan, and people would sign up because the first month is free. Here's the trap. Subscriptions are designed to be invisible. $10 here, $15 there. You barely notice when they hit your account, but collectively, they add up to more than your car payment. And the worst part? Most of us don't even use half of them. Raise your hand if you've ever signed up for a free trial, forgotten about it, and realized 6 months later, you've been donating $99 a month to a service you don't even remember. Congrats! You've just joined the subscription graveyard, a financial cemetery filled with forgotten accounts and automatic charges. It gets even better. companies want you to forget. That's why canceling is harder than breaking up with a clingy ex. They'll hide the cancel button behind 12 different menus, ask you to call customer service, or guilt trip you with, "Are you sure you want to leave us? We'll be lonely." Meanwhile, they've siphoned hundreds from your account while you were too busy to notice. And let's talk about duplication. Why do you have Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO Max, and Amazon Prime all at once? Be honest, you're still just rewatching The Office, but you're paying $60 a month to not decide which app to open. It's like subscribing to 5 different gyms but still never working out. Each one feels small, but together, that's hundreds every year. Multiply it by a lifetime and congratulations, you've financed a yacht for some streaming executive while you're still borrowing your cousin's password. The psychology is brutal. Subscriptions trick you with the "it's only a cup of coffee a month" pitch, which, funny enough, is the exact same math as the latte problem. But unlike coffee, these charges are automated. You don't feel the pain of swiping your card every time. It's passive bleeding, and that's what makes it deadly. At least when you buy a latte, you get caffeine. With unused subscriptions, you get nothing but shame when you check your bank statement. The rich don't fall for this trap the same way. Sure, they'll have memberships, golf clubs, private jets, whatever, but they use them and they monitor them because scale matters. For billionaires, subscriptions aren't about convenience. They're investments in status. For everyone else, they're slow-motion theft disguised as value. So here's the ugly truth. The subscription graveyard is killing your wealth one auto charge at a time. You don't need to cancel everything. You just need to admit that paying for 4 music apps doesn't make you cultured, it makes you broke. Go through your statements, resurrect the dead, and start burying these zombie charges before they eat your financial brain. Convenience is the most expensive addiction nobody talks about. We tell ourselves it's harmless, I'm just paying for convenience. But convenience is the velvet rope that keeps you broke while making you feel fancy. Delivery apps, impulse buys, one-click shopping, these are not services, they're financial landmines with good UX design. Take delivery apps. Remember when ordering takeout meant actually calling the restaurant, talking to a human, and maybe picking it up yourself? Primitive times. Now you tap 3 buttons and food appears at your door like magic, but that magic costs you 20-30% more than if you just walked down the street. Add in service fees, delivery fees, small order fees, and the guilt tip they shove in your face before you even know if the driver will spit in your fries. Suddenly your $12 burrito is a $26 burrito. Do that 3 times a week and you're not just eating tacos, you're eating your retirement savings, one tortilla at a time. Impulse buying is the cousin of this trap. Amazon perfected it with the Buy Now button. Zero friction, zero guilt, until your apartment looks like a warehouse for gadgets you never needed. How many of us have bought something online at 2 a.m. because it looked like the one thing missing from our life? A pasta maker, a drone, a Himalayan salt lamp that was going to boost your energy. You use it once, forget it exists, and then 6 months later you're selling it at a garage sale for a fraction of the price. That's not shopping. That's renting happiness at 300% APR. And don't even get me started on grocery delivery, paying someone $15 extra to bring you milk because you didn't feel like going out. You're not lazy. You're voluntarily setting money on fire. These small acts of convenience are like a financial death by 1,000 cuts. The rich outsource tasks too, sure, but they outsource strategically, hiring staff to scale their lives. Middle-class folks, we outsource laziness. And there's a huge difference between I hired someone to manage my portfolio and I paid $25 to avoid walking 2 blocks for a sandwich. Convenience also plays on emotions. You've had a rough day, so you deserve sushi delivered straight to your couch? You're stressed, so Amazon convinces you a weighted blanket will solve your anxiety. Spoiler, it won't, but it will weigh down your credit card balance. The companies know this. They design their apps to hit you when your guard is down. Midnight cravings, stress shopping, boredom, these are billion-dollar opportunities for them and financial sinkholes for you. Here's the twisted irony. Convenience was supposed to give us more time and freedom. Instead, it's chained us to a cycle of spending more to save minutes we don't use wisely anyway. You didn't invest that saved time into starting a side hustle or reading a book. You just scrolled TikTok. Congrats, you paid $20 extra for the privilege of wasting time more comfortably. So the next time you justify a delivery fee or a pointless impulse buy with "it's just a few bucks," remember this: convenience is the quiet luxury tax on the middle class. The rich don't pay it. They either build systems or have staff. The poor can't afford it. The middle? We bleed ourselves dry one lazy tap at a time. Credit cards are marketed like shiny keys to adulthood. Build your credit, earn rewards, unlock your financial potential. In reality, for most people, they're more like a slow-acting poison, a beautifully packaged toxin with airline miles sprinkled on top. Swipe now, cry later. That's the slogan nobody prints on the brochure. The problem isn't credit cards themselves. They can be powerful tools. The poison is in the habits. People treat credit like free money, instead of borrowed money. They swipe for dinners, vacations, and gadgets, convincing themselves they'll pay it off next month. But next month arrives with rent, bills, emergencies, and suddenly that balance rolls over. Add in 20% interest, and your $50 dinner just became a $200 feast you don't even remember tasting. Congrats, you're paying gourmet prices for food you already digested. Debt snowballs quietly. You tell yourself, it's just $200 I'll carry over. Then it's $500, then $1,000. And because minimum payments are designed to keep you trapped, you could spend years paying off one bad month of decisions. It's financial quicksand. The harder you struggle, the deeper you sink. And yet, people keep swiping because the plastic doesn't feel real. Cash hurts when you spend it. Swiping feels like tapping a magic wand, until the statement shows up and you realize that wand is cursed. Rewards programs make it worse. Airlines and banks figured out people will ruin themselves for free perks. Folks spend thousands chasing points for a vacation they could have just saved for directly. Imagine drowning in debt while bragging about a free toaster you got with your rewards. That's not financial literacy. That's Stockholm Syndrome with better branding. And let's talk about buy now, pay later apps, the new generation of poison. Klarna, Afterpay, Affirm, they're just credit cards wearing hoodies. They lure you in with 4 easy payments, so buying sneakers feels like a responsible decision. Spoiler, splitting stupidity into 4 payments doesn't make it less stupid, it just stretches the regret over a longer timeline. The irony? Wealthy people often use credit cards more responsibly than anyone. They charge everything, but they pay the balance in full every month. They earn rewards without ever touching interest. Why? Because they treat credit as a tool, not as an extension of their income. The middle class, on the other hand, bleeds slowly under the weight of balances that never go away. And the poor? They get eaten alive by predatory interest rates designed to keep them chained forever. Debt isn't just financial, it's psychological. Carrying balances creates stress, and stress fuels more bad spending. It's a vicious cycle. You feel broke, so you treat yourself to feel better, which makes you more broke, which makes you swipe again. The banks don't just profit off your money, they profit off your emotions. Every impulse, every I deserve this, every moment of weakness is another percentage point in their quarterly earnings. So here's the truth. Credit cards aren't evil. Your habits are. Swipe responsibly, and you can milk the system. Swipe like money grows on trees, and you're basically planting a forest of debt collectors who will come harvest you later. Lifestyle creep is the sneakiest villain in personal finance because it disguises itself as success. You work hard, you finally get a raise, and instead of actually feeling richer, you just upgrade your life until you're broke at a higher level. It's like moving from economy to business class. You're still on the same plane, just with fancier legroom, while your wallet screams in agony. Here's how it works. You land that promotion. Suddenly, your old car feels embarrassing, so you finance a new one. Your perfectly fine apartment? Too small. Time to rent somewhere twice the price with quartz countertops you'll never actually cook on. Your wardrobe? Needs a refresh. Because nothing says middle management like $400 sneakers. One raise later, you've inflated your lifestyle to match or worse exceed your income. Congratulations, you've trapped yourself in the golden hamster wheel. Run faster, spend more, stay broke forever. This creep thrives on comparison. The moment you get ahead, you start looking sideways at neighbors, coworkers, influencers. Oh, Chad from accounting bought a new watch? Guess I need one too. Your friend posts vacation pics from Bali. Time to put flights on your card so you can keep up. Nobody admits it, but lifestyle creep is fueled by ego and Instagram. You're not buying a nicer car because you need it. You're buying it because you want people to see you in it. And let's be clear, the rich don't play this game the same way. Truly wealthy people expand their lifestyle after they've secured assets that pay for it. Middle-class earners expand their lifestyle the second they think they're richer, which keeps them stuck. It's like eating your seed corn before planting the farm. You'll never grow wealth if every increase in income instantly becomes an increase in expenses. Worse, lifestyle creep feels justified. I earned this. And sure you did. But earning more doesn't mean you should spend more. If you always let your spending rise with your income, you'll never escape paycheck to paycheck life. You'll just do it with granite countertops. The irony? People who look richest are often the most broke, while those who look modest are building quiet fortunes. Lifestyle creep doesn't just keep you broke, it keeps you pretending you're rich while silently stressing about next month's bills. The cure? Freeze your lifestyle. When you get a raise, upgrade your savings, not your wardrobe. Let your investments flex while you keep your car boring and your apartment modest. That's how you escape the hamster wheel. But almost nobody does it, because resisting lifestyle creep is like saying no to dessert. It feels unfair in the moment, but it saves your life in the long run. So what do we have here? Death by 1,000 financial paper cuts. The latte lie, the subscription graveyard, the convenience trap, the plastic poison, and lifestyle creep. Together, they're not just habits, they're chains. Quiet, invisible chains that keep everyday people running in place while wondering why they never get ahead. It's not some big financial disaster that ruins most people. It's the daily drip 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 of choices that feel harmless in the moment, but sabotage your future. And here's the kicker, you don't even notice it happening. One day you're swiping for takeout because you're too tired to cook. The next you're stuck with maxed out cards, no savings, and a lifestyle you can't afford but also can't give up. It's not poverty, it's purgatory. You're not sinking, but you're not rising either. And the system loves it that way. Banks profit off your debt. Companies profit off your laziness. Subscription services profit off your forgetfulness. Everyone wins, except you. Meanwhile, the rich play a different game. They don't let daily habits bleed them dry. They don't finance convenience or flex for strangers. They scale assets first, lifestyle later. That's the difference between wealth and the illusion of wealth. Discipline in the boring stuff. The stuff nobody brags about on Instagram. So if you're tired of quietly staying broke, here's the challenge. Audit yourself. Go through your statements. Kill the zombie subscriptions. Cook your damn meals. Pay off the plastic. And for the love of God, don't let lifestyle creep turn every raise into a bigger cage. Small habits won't make you a millionaire overnight, but they will decide whether you stay stuck or finally start building something real. Now your turn. Which of these habits is your personal wallet killer? The daily latte, the forgotten subscriptions, the impulse buys, the credit card poison, or the lifestyle creep? Drop it in the comments. Because the first step to breaking the chains is admitting which ones you've been shackling yourself with. And remember, wealth isn't built by doing big things once. It's built by not doing dumb things every single day.